Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. It's time for a little Saturday morning React-TOONS, this time featuring Robotech, Season 1, Episode 47, Outsiders. Now, again, I know there's no seasons, but technically I guess we're in Season 2 with Robotech Masters. Whatever, Episode 47, my friends. Before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it enables me to alert you next time we go live with Saturday morning React-TOONS. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description, my friends. But all that's then and this is now, and now it's time for the 47th episode of Robotech entitled Outsiders. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! Almost forgot. Fanfare. I'm just gonna. It's getting silly now, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna take a drink of coffee, and I realized I had this ludicrous thing I have to do. All right, everybody. Not that I'm ever thinking about the end of Robotech, but somebody mentioned in the comments. They said, "Hey, this is a couple episodes ago." They said, "Just wanted to let you know you're at episode. I think it was 41 and a half." And they said you're exactly halfway through Robotech now. So I have less than those episodes remaining. I've seen more than I need to see. So with that being said, friends, right now I'm watching Star Blazer Space Battleship Yamato. Have it over on or Yamato over on Patreon. It may be out on YouTube. I'm not sure at some point. Beyond that, what should I be watching? Please direct me. Please direct me, because I want another show like Robotech and Star Blazers to really dive into something cool. You guys know what I like. Suggestions, my friends. Please. Thank you.
Stationed at a lonely outpost in the northern region, she finds the images of battle filling her mind constantly, disturbing her in ways she cannot understand.
Oh, wow.
The more she tries to dismiss him, the more compelling he becomes.
Oh, wow.
Why can't I get him out of my head?
Cool start.
Who's there?
Was that the whole ship resting?
You. Step out into the light. Slowly.
Oh, there he is.
The reason for General Emerson's hasty departure is revealed. Moments later, lying on a table in the laboratory of Professor Miles Cochran.
Miles Cochran?
You all know that the last specimen we captured didn't survive. I want to make certain that doesn't happen again.
Of course, General.
I like Emerson. He's got a good head on his shoulders.
As of this moment, I want an absolute information blackout regarding this prisoner.
But, General, are you proposing we tell no one about him?
Absolutely.
That's a blackout is called, bud. Like, no leaks.
I want you to run every kind of test you can think of on him. I need to know how these creatures breathe, think, live, eat, everything, and I need to know it right now.
You don't have to worry, General. We'll get it for you as fast as we can.
I mean, technically, Nova is kind of independent of these actions, but as an MP, right?
I hope this information turns out to be valuable.
Could be the key to our very survival.
Really cool start. These episodes are really good start.
Lodged in Zor's brain.
Okay, they're just going with Zor with this, right?
The purpose of the neurosensor is to keep us appraised of all their military activity. We should have plenty of warning.
Yes, and if they should discover your precious neurosensor, what then?
Recording the hyperfrequency of the device implanted in Zor's brain is far beyond the realm of their crude scientific instruments.
Okay, so they've got some type of device in his head.
Sir, we've locked onto an unidentified warship. Distance 799 in closing. It's definitely of alien origin.
Pull ahead.
It's not a master ship, though?
Good morning.
With a faulty muffler.
I didn't want to disturb you.
Yeah, Sean.
Well, somebody was snoring.
I'll give it a rest, Angie.
Angie. Love this group.
Let your hair down. Have some fun. You take life too seriously.
Sean doesn't take it seriously enough.
Now you can call me old-fashioned private.
Private, right. Don't tell me how to live my life. Private.
Who's found the call of the wild more attractive than the call of duty.
They are knocking it out of the park with these lines. Call of the wild bigger than the Call of Duty.
Here's a guy who was operating just fine up until a few weeks ago. Now he's carrying the torch so bad he can't put his shoes on straight.
For Musica, right?
Anybody home? That's what love will do to you if you give it a chance.
Sean says, if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with.
I just thought you might want to talk about it.
You know what it is? It's that alien dame. Huh? You're just gonna have to forget her, Bowie. She's one of them.
Be quiet, Angie.
Oh, for crying out loud, she's an alien.
I don't care if she's the dragon lady, Angelo. You can't tell him to just turn his heart on and off like a light switch.
Who we talking about here? Dana. Oh, Bowie.
Bowie!
Just a minute there. Where do you think you're going?
Huh?
I'm sorry, sir, but there are still no visitors allowed to go in there. You'll have to leave.
Oh, this is Crystal. Oh, cool.
Well, isn't it just my luck to find the one nurse in this whole hospital who's immune to my many charms?
This is like a Sean heavy episode.
I don't want them going to waste, and who knows, we may just meet again, darling.
If you can't be with the one you love, baby.
Creep. He didn't even keep trying.
If you keep trying, you could have yelled out, I'm awake, let him in.
Prize visit to General Emerson.
Tangent.
It's time for a surprise dickhead inspection. I'm the dickhead. Surprise.
Sir.
Well, Rolf, I've been told that you're keeping a secret from me.
Thanks, dickhead.
Yes, Commander. As a matter of fact, Professor Cochran is running a complete series of tests on him in his laboratory.
When were you planning on telling me about it?
I wasn't.
Or perhaps you were considering keeping this information to yourself?
Yes.
I'm taking the prisoner out of your hands, General. He'll be analyzed by a military scientist. We'll take over from here.
Oh, good. We'll make sure it's wrong.
Not like the last one. Let him stay where he is. Professor Cochran knows what he's doing.
That's right, Emerson. Stand up to this asshole.
But so be it. If you're determined to continue the examination at Dr. Cochran's, I'm prepared to allow it. Just keep in mind that if this prisoner escapes, you're responsible.
I'm going to read between the lines here and decipher this Leonard statement. It is, you're absolutely right. We will kill him. We learned nothing before. So you're right, but I'm going to yell at you for it.
Objective 299.7 and closing.
Open fighter bay doors and prepare attack craft.
Roger. Airlocks 1 through 17 are now open.
Oh, that's cool.
Here's the situation. Earth's not expecting us to come to their aid, and we can only hope the aliens aren't either. What's the status of the battle stations?
Or, once again, we don't know who this is. I love this music.
Control, this is Firestorm. Attack Wing 1 now moving in.
Nice. They're going to get absolutely destroyed, aren't they?
Bowie Grant is still tormented by a bad case of infatuation.
Firestorm, this is Brandywine 9. We'll take the one on the left. Roger, Brandywine 9. Fire!
This is cool as shit. And they're going to get absolutely destroyed. Oh, a lot of new animation here. Stay on target. Count 2 million guns. Some on the surface, some on the towers.
Prepare for a change in battle plans. Ignore the drones and deal directly with the main ship. Have all of our units converge on those coordinates at full velocity.
I mean, it's the way to do it.
Repeat, we have engaged the enemy. We are now approaching coordinates Lambda Delta 15.
It's a ship from the Pioneer mission.
Backup support.
Oh.
This is Recon 1.
Shall we scramble our available fighters, sir?
All pilots and ground crews to staging areas. Prepare for immediate rendezvous with SDF-3 attack wing.
Oh, the 15th's going up? Wow.
Louis, hey, what's all the ruckus about?
It seems the cavalry's arrived in the nick of time.
It's incredible.
It would have been awesome if they'd have been like the SDF-3. That'd have been cool, right? And they'd have been like, no, it's a recon.
Report.
One of them's right behind us, sir.
What?
Yeah, they're engaging you, dude. They're not idiots. You're the head of the snake, man. Holy shit. Oh, boy.
Sir, our defense shields are ruptured and primary starboard thrusters have all been completely neutralized.
What do we do now?
Divert all auxiliary power to the port thrusters.
Okay.
We've lost all radio communication with them, Commander.
Well then, what about our own fighters, Rolf?
The same, I'm afraid.
That's very odd. What in the world could possibly be happening up there?
And how can I make it worse? Dear God.
Completely down, we can blow apart at any moment.
Evacuate all personnel.
Yeah. Abandon ship.
Abandon ship.
I mean, I hate to say it, we need like every human we can get, especially people that are, you know, have skill sets like the military.
Sir, hurry up.
Nice. Take the ship right into it. There's no way that other ship survived that crash.
It's a sorry way to say goodbye to our home for the last 15 years, isn't it?
Eh? Nothing of the sort, Lieutenant.
Sir?
Sacrifices are often necessary during a war, and she was a good fighter.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, but it's still pretty depressing to lose her after all this time.
I like the captain's approach a little bit better. Hey, we all got off. We all made it back to Earth. She did her job.
Yeah, I know. I hate recovery detail. Huh?
Oh, a latecomer.
Want to take this one?
No, be my guest.
Sean's like, work? Fuck that.
Lieutenant Sterling, 15th Tactical Defense Squadron.
I am Major John Carpenter of the Robotech Relief Expedition.
John Carpenter? I've got some movies to direct.
I only hope we haven't exposed our defenses as a result of today's battle.
Sir?
Sorry.
But it didn't sound like sensitive information.
You mean you came here alone?
Somewhere Michael Scott is exploding.
I'm sorry, sir, but what it boils down to is that you cannot expect any further help from the Pioneer Expedition at this time. My attack wing was merely a last-ditch effort to join forces with your available fighters and knock the invaders from their orbit.
We all know how successful that little stratagem was.
Leonard is such a prick.
The General's offer's a disaster.
I wonder if there will be anybody left on Earth to appreciate his prayers by the time he returns from space.
I like the animosity that's built up, though, between, like, the people that took, you know, personnel and left, and who was behind. Zor has got some powerful, and I mean powerful purple chops coming down.
Explosions. Everything's burning.
Listen, what's he talking about?
Well, burning and explosions. Nova, I mean, keep up.
Dana Sterling faces another long, sleepless night, her thoughts filled with the sounds of alien agony and human despair.
Can she hear him? I mean, there is like a telepathy thing going on.
15 years ago, it was so much easier. The Zentradi were obsessed with capturing the SDF-1, and we knew how to deal with them. But now...
That was a great episode. That was a really exceptionally well done, informative episode that we just had right there. One of my favorite ones of the Master Saga so far. All right, everybody, we just got done watching a Robotech episode 47, Outsiders, and the only thing left to do is to talk about it. All right, friends, we just got done watching the 47th, I can't believe that, episode of 47, everybody. 47th episode of Robotech entitled The Outsiders, or just Outsiders, excuse me. I thought this was an exceptional episode. This is one of the ones, the narration was on point. We had really good characterization. We went around, we got to learn more. Obviously, you know, we have questions, I do anyway, about Dana's relationship with Zor. I mean, that's... You know, it seems like there's telepathy stuff going on with him, and I'm wondering if that's bleeding over into Dana because of her mixed heritage, because of, you know, being half Zentradi. I don't know if that is the case, or is if maybe she's more susceptible to it, or she's open to it, or something like that, or it's nothing, or it's just kind of like her, I don't want to say infatuation or fixation, but, you know, she just keeps playing it over and over in her head and can't sleep. That's a really, really cool thing to kind of begin to develop there. We've had hints of it before, but we had a real development of it here, kind of with his proximity and all that stuff. I loved seeing Emerson take a stand against Leonard. Leonard is a complete prick, but what we've talked about it before. Leonard's our catalyst for this episode's kind of strife. You know, we don't have bloodthirsty antagonists or people on the opposing side, you know, in the form of the Masters. They have other shit they want to do. If they didn't have to fight us, they're not going to fight us. They just need to get to the protoculture generator thing that was on the SDF-1 so they can, you know, refuel and get ready for the invid. That's their goal. We're getting in the way because we're refusing to talk, and that's Leonard's doing, and that Leonard plays an incredibly important aspect of the narrative, because without him, you've got cooler heads like Emerson who would be in charge, which would probably lead towards a de-escalation of a conflict, you know, a sit down, things like that, you know, where the Masters explain, hey, listen, You think we're bad? We are nothing compared to what I'm assuming is this invid force that's coming, because the masters are scared as shit. And we saw, I did see hints of that in Sentinels, that this is a very powerful force that's coming. So I like the idea of that threat kind of looming over everything. I did get a little confused because I didn't realize that the recon craft wasn't like an Earth origin or Earth like positioned craft or solar system positioned craft right now. I didn't realize that it was, part of an exploratory mission that was returning. So that threw me a little bit. And whenever they said, entering the solar system and, alien ship of unknown origin, I assumed that there was some like Robotech master ship in space and we were engaging with one of our remaining craft. So I apologize if I got things goofed up there. I kind of switched up. Sometimes Robotech throws curveballs at me. Sometimes I throw them at myself. And so that was me. That was me not, interpreting or comprehending what was going on well enough or quickly enough. I like I said, I love the idea of Emerson standing up to Leonard. We can't have too much of that because, again, like we said, he's the wrench, the monkey wrench in the gears here. He needs to be here to keep causing problems, or this is going to be resolved too quickly. But Emerson standing and sticking up for himself and, sticking to his guns basically is, demanding the prisoner is a really good touch. And again, Leonard rolled over too fast because everything that Emerson said was correct. I don't think you can do it. You're going to kill him. You've done it before. Let me do, his best places here. And it was a compelling argument. And I mean, listen, I don't think that Leonard is stupid. I think that he is brash. I think that he is, he's I shouldn't say I don't think he's unintelligent. I think that he thinks he's better at military matters than what he really is. But as far as just general knowledge and intelligence and stuff, I don't think that he is, I don't think he's stupid or anything like that. In fact, I think he's just smart enough to be very, very dangerous. But in this instance, it kind of helped out because he was able to actually hear what Emerson was saying. And even though he didn't admit it in his own mind, he went, yeah, Rolf's probably right. We did kill the last one. We learned nothing from it. Well, we learned a little bit, but we didn't learn what we could have learned. And maybe he is right that staying here is the best way for us to get, the help that we need, or the reconnaissance or the intelligence that we need. But this is an episode that I liked a whole bunch. We had just the human quality, and not just the story, but kind of the broad characterization of humanity in the 15th was at full display here. Woo, sneezing attack. Sorry about that, everybody. No, basically what I think that was one of the strength of this episode, obviously we've talked about some of the major points that were very good as far as advancing the story, but the true strength of this episode was showing us more about the 15th and the people that pilot our hover tanks, having Dana, again, we talked about her kind of obsessing over the Zor, having her playing the piano, the narration about playing this ancient piano, sitting there, hitting the keys and blah, blah, blah. And then we got to see Sean basically as this, his hound dog, Lotharia, just going around and basically not. I thought it was interesting, though. I thought it was very interesting that he made a point to take Flowers and go to Crystal. That was interesting to me because that was Crystal, right? Because she was hurt and he was the one that caught her ship when it was coming down, which is a great carry through, a lot of really good serialization there to continue with that story. Like, Crystal's not a forefront character, she's not a mainstay or a member of the 15th. She's definitely peripheral, but at the same time, continuing her thread and story was another thing that made this episode particularly very, very strong. The continuation of Bowie's story as he's kind of obsessing over music, as he's continuing to think about it, replaying these thoughts in his head. And in a weird way, you can say, well, this is a lot of this kind of flashback stuff and thinking of other people's stuff is a good way to bamf and kind of buy yourself almost like a pseudo clip show. You're revisiting a lot of topics that you've already had, not necessarily with old animation, but the topics are being rediscussed. But they're being advanced. It's not just like a rehashing of certain things, it's an advancement of certain things. And I really enjoy that and really, really appreciate that. Plus the whole storyline of the recon plane coming back in added that brand new flavor and catalyst to the situation on Earth, and they're doing everything so well in this. They really, really are. And for everything that I kind of complained about with the storytelling that Macross did, it's been in my mind, it's been completely taken care of in Masters. It's, we have more people, more dynamics, a more coherent story. I mean, I know they have to shoehorn a couple things in here. And there's a couple things like the recon craft returning that, I should have picked up on quicker, but I didn't. There wasn't a whole lot of context clues there, in my defense. But, this, for everything that I just said, and any nitpick that I put in there is just that. It's nitpicking because I think that this is an incredibly solid, it's not linear and we're not on a train. We can definitely branch off and talk about other things, but are heading in a very solid, very identifiable, very comprehensible position, and a drive with a thread of narrative that works. And we're not, as of right now, knock on wood, we're not backtracking to like readdress things and bamf and buy time. I'm thinking of like the relationships in Macross. This one, we're getting more. We're getting an advancement. We're getting more people involved in relationships, more questions about relationships. Just a great thing, whether they be romantic or just platonic friendships and things. A lot of really good shit. And in fact, I think my favorite was them calling him Angie. And I think they have before, but this is the first time I've taken note of it. Angelo is a great character, and the idea that they call him Angie is perfect for me, because I think that fits that character, and how the 15th would look at Angelo. That fits perfectly for me. Friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it enables me to alert you next time we go live with Saturday morning React-TOONS, Robotech, all the good stuff. And of course, if there's any of that good stuff that you would like earlier in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description, my friends. But all that is then and this is now, and now it's time to say goodbye. So where should we say goodbye from this? A pivotal characterization episode inside the Robotech Master Saga. I say we say goodbye from where it began. We are sitting inside the lounge, inside the 15th's kind of sancta sanctorum, and it's the middle of the night. We've got our own stuff going on because we're part of the 15th. We're part of the human race. Everybody has stuff going on, and we're sitting there, we're listening. Maybe we're staring off into the outside like Angelo does when he has his drink and he watches the enemy ship. But regardless of where we are, we hear the keys of the notes of the piano playing, not a song perchance, or not a song per se, but it's a melody, one that speaks of the human race, of the 15th, of the glories past, the times present, and the winning and victories to come, my friend. Until we meet again to see such adventures and such victories, Vulcan roll, and I'll see ya.